Yes, now we'll start.
Good evening to one and all. On behalf of Philosophy family, I extend a hearty welcome to all the scholars and teachers of philosophy of our country and abroad. Today, we have a very beautiful topic, that is the Bhagavat Gita as the practical Vedanta. And today, our admin and host, Professor Pramod Kumar Das, the head Department of Philosophy, Nayagada Autonomous College, Nayagada, will deliver the talk. And Professor Pramod Kumar Das needs no introduction. And he the main architect behind the philosophy family. He's the man who has sacrificed most of the time for philosophical reflection and philosophical deliberation. He has organized more than 500 seminars and webinars for the intellectual cause of the students and faculty members. He has also given many talks in national and international levels. He's a very brilliant scholar who has achieved gold medal in both UG and PG level. And he has expertise in Indian philosophy and particularly in Bhagavad Gita. And he has delivered a series of lectures on Bhagavad Gita on different aspects, on different fundamental issues, how it has practical bearing on human life. And today, he will deliver the talk, Bhagavad Gita as practical Vedanta. This topic is very popularly spoken by Professor Pramod Kumar Das in different occasions. And today, his deliberation will benefit all of us. And today, we are really happy that the great professors like Professor Romavani, Professor Srinivasan, and others are with us. Today, their presence has encouraged us. And with this, once again, I extend my gratitude to all the viewers, those who have joined in this Sunday webinar. I also extend my welcome to Professor Dr. K. Umnan Rao. Today, he will join, but he will not participate because he is engaged in other programs. And with this, once again, I extend a hearty welcome to all of us. And I welcome Professor Pramod Kumar Das to commence his deliberation on Bhagavad Gita as practical Vedanta. Over to Professor Pramod Kumar Das.
Namaskar to all of you, respected Dr. Maharana and esteemed participants of this session. Today we have a very beautiful topic, as Dr. Maharana said, that the Bhagavad Gita as a practical Vedanta. First of all, we shall discuss what is Vedanta and how it can be said to be practical, and how Bhagavad Gita can be said to be practical Vedanta. We all know that Veda means knowledge. The word Veda that has been derived from the word Ved. Ved means knowledge. That means Veda is knowledge oriented. Then what is the significance of a Vedanta? So what is the importance of a Vedanta? If Veda is knowledge, then what is Vedanta? Is it any specific knowledge, any superior knowledge than the knowledge of the Vedas? Yes. The answer is yes. Why? Because the essence of the Vedas is Vedanta, or the end of the Veda is Vedanta. That means in Vedanta, we discuss about the highest knowledge, that is Atma Jnana, that is self-knowledge. That means there are different types of knowledge. But when we come to the end part, come to the finest part of the knowledge, that knowledge which gives us liberation, when we say that knowledge is liberative, that knowledge is very much important, and that is naturally practical. Because if any knowledge that gives us freedom, then definitely that is practical. So there are three types of cognitive process. One is knowledge, information, knowledge, and wisdom. When we depend upon different sources from this material world, when our knowledge is database, we get some information about this empirical world. That is simply information, and that is also very much necessary. Whatever we come to know through newspaper, through TV channels, that they are all informations, and we should know that. Science is also informative. So education is also informative. So information is also a very significant part of our knowledge system. We cannot avoid information, because that is the common sense, that is the common knowledge. Without, suppose we don't know the address of a place, how can we reach that place? So reaching at a place, we should know the address of that place. So knowing the address of a place is simply an information. After reaching that place, that information is not necessary. And if the address is changed, the information is also modified. So information is very much necessary in our practical life. But that is not the highest knowledge. When we know something systematically by logical rules, then we can call it knowledge. Knowledge means systematic knowledge. There is a predicate, there is a subject, there should be a judgment, subject and predicate should be connected, and one proposition should follow another proposition. Then it is systematic. If the premise and conclusion are not connected, we cannot say that it is proper knowledge. So knowledge is logical. Knowledge is not only informative, knowledge is logical. And that is also very much necessary. If we are not acquainted with the rules of logic, we cannot have clarity. We cannot understand each other. Communication will be impossible. We understand each other because we know the logic, we know the linguistic rules, we know the logical rules. Therefore, we understand each other. Therefore, communication becomes possible. But that is also not the highest knowledge. Wisdom is that knowledge which is very much helpful in our practical life, with which we live our life. Knowing something is one thing, but when we become that, what we know, when we live with that knowledge, that becomes our wisdom. So he is a man of wisdom, means he knows and he lives according to his knowledge. So when we talk about living, that is directly connected with the human life. So whatever we discuss in Indian philosophy, that is connected with the human life. Suppose we are saying the life is full of suffering, jivana dukkha. Life is full of suffering. So life is full of suffering. This is not a conceptual discussion. This is not a analytical discussion. Here we are really discussing about the suffering of life, suffering of human life. Yes, there is life and it is a reality and it has suffering and it can be eradicated. So ethics comes. So there are many ways to be free from suffering, to attain liberation. So when we discuss about bondage and freedom, when we discuss about suffering and liberation in Indian system, in Indian philosophy, we really connect that study to our practical life. So any study, any knowledge that is connected with our practical life is wisdom. What I know, I live accordingly. What I believe, I live accordingly. My belief and my lifestyle are not different. My knowing and my becoming are not different. Therefore, Brahmavid Brahmeva Bhavati. That means the knower of the Brahman becomes Brahman. Brahman cannot be known through Shastras. Brahman cannot be known through Karma Kanda or Jnana Kanda. Or Brahman cannot be known by the recitation of the slokas of Bhagavad Gita. 1,000 times you read Bhagavad Gita, you cannot have a Brahma Jnana, Atma Jnana. This is only possible through your self-knowledge. When you understand something, you know something, and you live according to your knowledge. So that is wisdom. So information, knowledge, and wisdom. So philosophy is called love of wisdom in that sense, because philosophy is very much connected with the problems of human life, directly connected with the problems of human life. So any problem that is connected to human life and that is discussed by philosophy, by Bhagavad Gita, by Upanishads, and it is called Vedanta. Vedanta is Upanishad. That means the last part of the Veda or the ending part of the Veda or the essence of Veda. That means the knowledge of the knowledge, consciousness of the consciousness. We are conscious of many things, but when we are conscious that we are conscious, that is the highest consciousness, the ultimate consciousness. There is no dichotomy between subject and object. There is no dichotomy between knower, known, and knowledge. That is the ultimate state of wisdom. So wisdom is related to human life. So Vedanta is wisdom. Vedanta is not information. Vedanta is not knowledge. Vedanta is wisdom. That wisdom which makes us, which liberates us from suffering, from bondage, which gives us transformation. By knowing which we get transformation. Transformation from the lower level of consciousness to the higher level of consciousness. Transformation from the lower level of perfection to the higher level of perfection. And gradually we are getting transformed day by day. And that is the purpose of education. If by education we are not getting transformed day by day, then that is not education. That may be something else, but that is not education. That means we transform our level of consciousness in the phase of our life. In the very short span of our life, there is a possibility that we can transform from the lower state of our consciousness to the higher state of consciousness. There is a state of bondage and there is a state of freedom. So the state of bondage is one state of life when man suffers from different problems. But when he attends, when he becomes enlightened, when he attains perfect knowledge, the highest knowledge, the Atma Jnana, then only he becomes free. Now the question is it only theory or practice? Is it only theory or a reality? Can anyone enjoy this freedom in this life? Can anyone attain this state? These are the fundamental questions of a practical Vedanta or practical philosophy or practical knowledge. Have you attained this? When this question is asked, there we need the testimony, there we need the verification, there we need the actual experience. Have you experienced what you are saying? Has anybody attained this state? These are the questions about practical philosophy or practical Vedanta. Yes. Therefore, there are different types of human beings. All human beings are not same. All minds are not same. A common man is not Vivekananda. Vivekananda is a different, the man of wisdom who has attained that perfection. Vivekananda, for example. So there are Siddha Purusha, they have attained that state. So what happened? The world view, our perception about world, our judgment about world, our judgment about ourselves, they depend upon our philosophy, our vision, our intellectuality, our understanding. As we understand, so we make our own world. As we believe, so we live in our world. So we all live in the same empirical world, the same oxygen, the same air, the same fire, the same, everything is same physically, empirically. But psychologically, we all have distinct worlds. My world is mine. I live in my world. You live in your world. In a family, if there are 5 members, they all live in their own worlds. Now in this digital generation, it is easily understood. If there are 3 members in a family, husband, wife, and child, and they have 3 cell phones, they live in their own world. Father is engaged in his mobile, mother is engaged in her mobile, and the child is also engaged in her mobile. Similarly, the 3 persons have 3 types of philosophy, 3 types of perception, 3 types of understanding. In that perspective also, they live in 3 different worlds. So my thought is my world. My philosophy is my world. We all live in the same physical world, but each and every person lives in his own. The world of Arjuna is different from the world of Lord Krishna. The world of Duryodhana is different from the world of Yudhishthira. Therefore, they are different personalities. Why they are different personalities? Because they live in their personal worlds, they live by their personal vision. Therefore, by transformation, we understand we have to enrich our vision. We should have a better version of our vision. What we were yesterday, we should not be today, and we should not be tomorrow. Ignorance is natural. Aurobindo said that every state of your knowledge is ignorance. So ignorance is natural. Suppose you claim that you have the highest knowledge, that is also a state of ignorance, because there is a possibility of a higher knowledge. So every state of your knowledge is nothing but a state of ignorance. because that is a higher possibility, that is the higher state of knowledge. So if we understand in this way, then we can understand the dimension of knowledge. That how knowledge is information, how knowledge is logical, and how knowledge is wisdom. So here in Vedanta philosophy, we are discussing about wisdom. That is self-knowledge. That knowledge which liberates us. Savidya ja vimukta. Knowledge that liberates us. So that is Vedanta. Vedanta gives us knowledge about our own self. Who am I? Where from I came? Where shall I go? These are the fundamental questions which remain unanswered even by the wise persons. So therefore that is wonder. Therefore that is surprise. Therefore man searches for the reality because he never attains it. Because that cannot be attained by scientific way of knowing and rational way of knowing. That means logical knowing. That can be known by self-realization. Therefore, Atma Jnana is personal. Atma Jnana cannot be taught in the school and colleges, cannot be taught through any syllabus. It cannot be transferred from any teacher. By Guru Diksha, Guru Siksha, you can't attain it. That may help you to attain that state, but the self-realization is very much personal. Very much personal. Because by knowing, you become that state. Suppose you are in the state of X. And there are different states like Y, Z, etc. Suppose you are in the state of X, then your understanding is X, your world is X, your emotion is X, and your feelings, your reaction, your social life, your lifestyle, everything is X. And you are satisfied with that, and you are jealous of Y and Z. You compare with them, and that is your suffering. Suppose you excel to the state of Y, then the entire world will be changed. You will live in another world. Your perception is different, your personality is different, your world view is different. In this way, we live in different worlds because of our unique understanding. So, it is very much practical because it is only attainable only through practical experience. It is not attained through any school or college or any shastras also. Bhagavad Gita said that by reading shastras, you cannot attain perfection. You cannot attain liberation. This is possible only through yoga. So we have to yoga. Yoga means technology. Yoga means technology in Bhagavad Gita. Yoga means technology. That you have to go through that technology. You have to practice it. Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga. These are the 3 technologies, basic technologies, and there are 18 technologies in 18 chapters discussed in Bhagavad Gita. So you have to go through the practice so that you can become the truth. Nobody can offer that. Nobody can offer or confer that truth. You will become that truth by yourself. By yourself, you will become that truth. By knowing the truth, you will become the truth. Therefore, you have to go through the practice of a yoga, that technology. This is very, very important. So, in Vedanta, we discuss about the very seminal concepts like what is Satya, what is Asatya, what is Maya, and what is Jivatma, what is liberation, what is bondage. All these things are discussed in Vedanta. What is practical Vedanta? Mere discussion, mere analysis mere reading books, mere writing articles on such concepts are not. This is not helpful for us. I told that whatever we read, whatever we understand, we have to live accordingly. That means we have to understand this world accordingly. Then only a Vedantin can understand what is Maya. The person who is who has realized Vedanta in the true sense, he can understand what is Maya. What is Brahman, that is a separate thing. One may not understand what is Brahman. But at least one can understand what is changing. Yes, this is changing. Everything shall pass away. This is a very common saying. We all know that. We all discuss about that. But very hardly we live accordingly. We don't live according to this philosophy that everything shall pass away. Everything is subject to change. Buddha said, everything is momentary. Everything is momentary. Even dukkha is also momentary. Sukha is momentary. Dukkha is also momentary. Everything is subject to contradiction. Everything is it's changing. Everything is passing away. Nothing is constant. If at least we understand this, then the door of realization of the Brahman is open for us. It's very much nearer to us. At least we have to understand this phenomenal world. But each phenomena that can be understood by the understanding of the phenomena. What is the status of the phenomenal world? Where from we start? We start from our own body. We can start from our own mind. We can start from our own intellect. This body is not permanent. This body is undergoing different types of changes from my childhood. And this is a practical experience. I experience the change of my body since my childhood. That means my body is not constant. My body is growing and decaying. My body grows and decays. So it is not constant at all. So we can understand the status of change from our body that is very much nearer to us. We don't need to go to the empirical world to study changes. We can experience that from our own body, from our own mind. Mind changes. The person who was very much calm in the morning committed suicide in the evening because mind changed. Mind changed. Intellect will change. That means your buddhi will be changed. Your decision will be changed. Arjuna decided to fight. He came to the war field, but he was reluctant to fight. That means mind changed. Mind of Arjuna did not change. Means the possibility of the change of the mind. We have to understand this. That means we can't hold our mind properly if we are. So mind is the only instrument that can bind us and that can liberate us. We can control it. We can control our mind. But mind is subject to change. Emotion is subject to change. Feelings are subject to change. All these things are getting changed. And we experience that in our practical life. If we experience the changes in our body, in our mind, in our intellect, then we should understand that beyond these changes, there must be a constant reality. There must be a substantial reality. There must be a permanent reality. We should understand this. But we do not understand this because we can't perceive it. We can't realize it. We can't visualize it. Therefore, we fail to understand the permanence of everything, the permanent source, the ultimate source, because we are baffled by the changes, that everything is changing, and we have become a part of the change. Everything is changing, and we are attaining that changes. We are going through the changes. That means we accept the changes, and we never ask the question, what is beyond it? So when we ask the question, what is beyond it, our thought become philosophical. Our thought leads to knowledge, wisdom, because we ask the fundamental question, what is beyond these phenomenal changes. One minute. Audible, sir?
Yes, audible.
So if we understand the status of change, then there is a possibility of understanding the permanence. But we fail to understand the status of change. We undergo the changes, but we fail to understand its status. Therefore, we become the part of Maya. Therefore, we become the part of illusion. Therefore, we are deluded. I know that this body is changing, this body is growing, this body is decaying. Science also says that the cells of our body get changed in a regular interval. In every 4 or 5 months, we are different persons. So we know this, but we have the sense of that is called Smansana Vairagya. We have the sense of a Vairagya, sense of detachment, but that is very much flexible. That does not hold us. We don't stand by that knowledge. We don't become Sthita Pragya. We have that Pragya, but that is not Sthita, that is not Sthira. We can hold that knowledge. And we are biased by the changes. I know that my body is getting changed, but I am attracted to my body. I think that this body is real. I am suffering from the pains of my body. I know, but still I am attached. So that attachment should not be there, because I should understand, oh, this is subject to change. Suppose at a particular time, particular moment, or for a particular incident, I have an agony, I have a tension. I should understand that this is not the permanent state of my mind. This mind will be changed. And this was not before sometimes. Pratitya samutpada. That means everything is dependent, everything is subject to change. Everything is dependent on some conditions. So this state of mind is conditioned by something else. And when the conditions are removed, the status will be changed. The status of a body, status of a mind will be changed. So we live in the state of changes, but we live like animals. We live like plants. We live like, we don't live rationally. That is not true rationality. True rationality means we have to understand the status of the change. Rationality does not mean that we should speak logically. If this is the premise and this is the conclusion, and the conclusion follows from the premises according to the rules of logic, this is not rationality. Rationality means you should be intelligent enough to understand the reality. What is my reality? What is the reality around us? What is the status of the change? So Vedanta starts from this only. Vedanta does not start from the knowledge of a Brahman, because it's the ultimate state. If you reach that state, if you attain that state, then there is nothing to speak, because that is not experienceable. You don't need to speak anything else, because you become the realized soul. But that starts with our practical empirical knowledge that everything is subject to change. Therefore, Buddha very beautifully started his philosophy saying that Jivana Dukkha Purna, that means life is full of suffering, and there is cause of suffering. And in Western tradition, many philosophers have started their philosophy from doubting everything. Descartes started his philosophy by doubting everything. Immanuel Kant started his philosophy by criticizing the previous methodology. So this is also a philosophical methodology that we should start de novo. We shall start from zero. We shall start from the ground, Where I am in the midst of changes. I am living in this empirical world where change is very much natural. And I experience the changes. But the question is it true? Is it only changing? There is no permanent. Many philosophers have said, no, if you experience changes, then these changes are only real. And there is no permanent entity. Thinking about any permanent entity is a myth, is a fiction, is an imagination. So there is nothing beyond your fleeting perceptions. So there is no soul, there is no body, according to Buddha. They are only fleeting perception. So soul is nothing but the fleeting perception. That's the fleeting. It is everything that is changing, it is passing. So this is also one philosophy. So Bhagavat Gita, when we discuss about Bhagavat Gita very beautifully speaks about Vedanta, that there is the ultimate reality, and that ultimate reality is one, that is unmanifest, Abhyakta, and at the same time, Bhagavad Gita admits the state of manifestation. The changes are also real, and the ultimate reality, which is not subject to change, that is also real. This is real from the empirical standpoint, and that is real from the transcendental standpoint. We have to understand this. Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya, this is only a state of knowledge. Jagat is not really Mithya. We have to understand that this is subject to change, and this is indescribable, that we cannot describe a particular state as the reality. In that sense, Jagat is Mithya. Jagat is Mithya does not mean that Jagat is explained away, and Jagat has no empirical status, empirical reality. This is not the fact. Jagat is Mithya is the highest state of knowledge, that living in Jagat, living in the changes, we can understand that beyond these changes, there is a permanent entity which is absolutely real. So this is very much practical. This is not a theoretical discussion. Theoretically, we have to understand this, but we have to live in the society according to the application of this knowledge. Therefore, what will be our benefit? The benefit will be that we shall not be over-attached with any emotion, with any relation. And we shall not feel reluctant when we perform our duty, so that we can do Niskama Karma. What happened to Arjuna? Arjuna should fight, because fighting was the right action in that situation. That was the right action. And he knew this fact before 13 years. He was well prepared for war. But he reluctant. He was reluctant to fight only because of his personal agony, personal mental disturbance, personal attachment with his relatives. That I shall fight, but I shall not fight against my relatives. I shall not fight against my teachers. This is a personal bonding, personal emotion, personal attachment, which should not interfere in the performance of our duty. Whenever we are doing our duty, we should be duty bound. We should do that according to the principle of righteousness, according to the principle of dharma. So dharma is the guiding principle of doing our duty, not anything else. Not anything else. Therefore, it is unconditional. Whenever I am doing my duty, I shall do it if it is for lokasangraha, if it is good for the society, if it is beneficial for the mass, then I should do it at any cost. There should not be any personal consideration that my son is committing mistake, or my father is committing mistake, or my teacher is committing mistake. So this is the sense of a duty. So sense of duty should be with a karma yogi. So karma yogi is he who performs karma according to the sense of detachment, and no attachment with result, no attachment with result, no attachment with agency that I am the karta, I am doing this, I am the owner of my action, so I am the enjoyer of my action. This karta bhava should not be with a karma yogi. And the attachment with the consequence must follow. If you are doing something, then that action will lead to some consequence. Consequence must be there, but one should not be attached with the consequence. And third attachment, the attachment with the action. No attachment with the action. Because all actions are same. There is no small action or big action. This is a big action, so I shall do it very carefully, very interestingly. No. All actions are same for the karma yogi. If I am going to clean the latrine, then that is equally important when now I am speaking about a topic. I am discussing about Bhagavat Gita. Both the works are same for a karma yogi. A karma yogi does not consider that this is a small work and this is a big work. This is my work, this is his work. This is for one man, this is for many people, and this is for my relatives, and this is for my enemies. This consideration should not be there for a karma yogi. So if we are acquainted with the knowledge of Vedanta, that there is the possibility of changes, and there is also the possibility of a permanent entity. If we understand this dichotomy, the unmanifest and the manifest are nothing but two states of the same thing. The same thing that is in the unmanifest state, that becomes manifest in another state, and I am Sthita Prajna. I am not attached to with that unmanifest, neglecting the manifestation, and I am not attached with the manifestation, neglecting or avoiding the unmanifest. No partiality, because I understand the truth and appearance, the reality and the noumena and phenomena, the permanence and change. If one understands these two states of reality, that mind is Sthita, that mind is the Prajna. And that person can become a karma yogi, can become a jnana yogi, and can be a bhakti yogi. That means he can have expertise in action, knowledge. The three main gates of attaining perfection. So whatever is discussed in Vedanta, that this is Brahman and this is Maya, that something is superimposed. We have to understand that superimposition. There are many types of superimposition. Whatever is real, that is not understood by us, that is not realized by us. Whatever we understand about this phenomenal world, that is only our subjective interpretation. That is only our interpretation. You interpret your world according to your likes and dislikes. You interpret your world or any person, you judge any person, you judge any action according to your perception, according to your emotion, according to your selfish desires, according to your sentiment. So that is only superimposition of your emotion, your intellectualization, your rationality. That is only your imposition. That is only imposition. That is not the real status. The person who is Titaprajna, who is really a man of wisdom, he should understand whether it is real or superimposition. Whether I am biased by something, whether my knowledge is superimposed or my knowledge is pure. All the times we deal with superimposed knowledge, superimposed by science, superimposed by philosophy, superimposed by religion, superimposed by any beliefs, any dogmas, even society is also a superimposition. Therefore, Krishnamurti very beautifully said that one should be free from superimposition. That even our society is also a type of superimposition. Why? The question is why? Then if we say it is because of the society, then that is superimposition of the society. If you say that because of the relatives I will not fight, this is a superimposition. That is not the real wisdom. Wisdom is freedom. Wisdom is free from superimposition. Wisdom speaks the truth, and truth is not superimposed by any external condition. External and internal, subjective and objective, no superimposition is there. Suppose I say, I do this because I like this. Many times we say this. Why did you do that? Because I like this. This is the superimposition of your likeness. Why did not you do that? Because I dislike it. Then this is the superimposition of your hatred. So you do what should be done, going beyond your likes and dislikes. Arjuna may not like to fight against relatives, but he should fight because fighting is the right cause of the situation. He should fight, therefore he should fight. Connected. Truth and duty, they are connected. So knowing the truth means Vedanta. You know Vedanta. You know you have Vedantic wisdom. You know what is truth and appearance. You have that distinction in your mind. And how can you apply it in your practical life? Then only you can do your duty in the right way. Because you are free from superimposition. And that is Niskama Karma. Niskama Karma means there should not be any type of attachment. Neither attachment with action, nor with result, nor with agent or karta. And how it is possible? when the man is free from any type of superimposition, any type of a maya, any type of a false identity. If I am doing an action thinking that I am a father, or I am a teacher, or I am a gentle person in society, is superimposition. That means I am a hypocrite. I am a hypocrite. Don't do that. You do what should be done. Even people may not like it. Don't go after, run after likes and dislikes as it is found in the Facebook. Many people liked my post. It is not like that. You do what should be done. If it is good for the society, if it is good for Lokasangra. So that is that. In that sense, Bhagavat Gita is practical Vedanta. Practical Vedanta means Vedantic wisdom when we live with Vedantic wisdom. When we become a person of a Vedantic wisdom. When we live a life of a Vedantin. So that was proved by Vivekananda and many others. Because whatever they realized, they were living their life, their lifestyle was like that. So knowing the truth and becoming that truth are not two things. They are the same thing. So if we understand the difference between truth and appearance, or Brahma and Maya, then only we can focus on our duty. While performing duty, our mind will not be disturbed. Our mind will not be perplexed. Our mind will not be biased by any superimposition. And that is the true sense of transformation, and that is the true sense of education. Our education should be like that. So practical Vedanta means the Vedantic wisdom that is lived in this life. Therefore, there is a concept of Jivana Mukti. Jivana Mukti is very much practical. That a true aspirant, a true bhakta, a true jnani will never aspire for the ultimate freedom, because ultimate freedom is attainable but not experienceable. You can't experience the ultimate freedom because you will be no more there. But you can experience your freedom in the midst of bondage. You can live freely. Living freely is Jivana Mukta. That means Mukta in this Jivana. Mukta in this life. Are you Mukta in this life? If yes, that matters. If no, then that is nonsense. That is nonsense. That I go to Swarga, I shall attain liberation by living in Puri, or by living in Dwarika, or by doing this or doing that. This is all nonsense. The finest perfection is Jivana Mukta, that is attainable in this very life. Yes, now I am living with all attachments, but I have a sense of a detachment. I have a sense of a vairagya, because I know the truth. I know the truth. Truth of the changes and the truth of the permanence. I know both. Truth of the manifestation and truth of the unmanifest. So all that I am doing my duty from the Vyavaharika Satta, from the practical standpoint, but when I am going to my bed at night, I know all these are Maya. All these are meaningless. All these are only changes. I just did my duty, playing a role of a father, role of a teacher, role of a husband, role of a citizen. I did my duties only. I am not attached to anything else. I don't own anything. Everything is yours. Everything is yours. Everything is yours. Because Why everything is yours? Because I don't know what I shall do in the next morning. Next morning I may not be alive. If I shall see the next morning, then I am the lucky person. I am very much blessed. I am very much graced by God. So if at least I see the next morning, then whatever will come to me as my duty, I shall do it with a sense of detachment. With a sense of detachment. So the life is full of attachment, but I am living my life with a sense of detachment. This great teaching is taught by Bhagavat Gita, and therefore it is called practical Vedanta. And there are many points. We shall discuss in the course of discussion. Thank you, Dr. Maharana.
Okay, thanks so much, Professor Pramod Kumar, for your very illuminating talk on the topic that Bhagavad Gita as practical Vedanta. And at first, you have made a very beautiful distinction between information, knowledge, and wisdom. And you said how wisdom helps us to live a practical life. And you said how knowing means becoming, and this knowledge of Brahman. And this Brahman can be known by this self-knowledge. You have tossed everything, and you said that how Vedanta is the wisdom of transformation, the truth of transformation, is the transformation from lower state of consciousness to the higher state of consciousness. It is so it is a physical transformation, it's a vital transformation, it's a mental transformation, and you have said how one can overcome the from the lower state of consciousness to the higher state of consciousness in both Bhagavad Gita and Vedanta. And you have said that how uh, Bhagavad Gita has been tested as a yoga shastra, and it is really a shastra of technology, and which contains 18 chapters and 18 kinds of technologies that you have very beautifully told. And and it is practical because it is very much technological, and it bears practical aspect and practical dimension in every step of our life. And it is practical because it does not believe in mere understanding or mere analysis. It is living with truth. It is living with wisdom, and it will start from every action. And you have said the how Bhagavad Gita is called practical Vedanta. Bhagavad Gita uh, teaches us how to understand the reality of life, the logic of life, and different dimensions of life. And that the Bhagavad Gita teaches us what is change, how change is real, and how the ultimate is also real. So one has also one grows different dimensions of thought while leading a practical life. And from Bhagavad Gita, we get it. And and lastly, you have given a relationship that how Bhagavad Gita is called a practical Vedanta, and how to perform duty according to the principle of a dharma, how to overcome one's personal bonding and personal illusion, and when we have to work, and we should be, and we should have no attachment with the duty or action, because all actions are same to karma yogi, and bhakti yogi, and jnana yogi. And you have said so much that it's not possible to have a brief summary on the whole talk that you have reflected today. It is a very good topic. Now we have many lauded professors with us. May I request now Professor Roma Vani ma'am to have her own observation on the talk of Professor Pramod Kumar. Roma madam.
Namaskar. Yes, namaskar. Um, Each time I hear Professor Saab, I go back to my school days. And I always relate myself as a student. And I realize when our teachers, for one full year, they teach us the alphabet. And then after 1 year, we are examined. So I always, when I hear Professor Saab, I go back to that stage and feel that, Dr. Saab, Professor Das should go on repeating and repeating and repeating these things to us so that at the end of our journey, we are ready with the real knowledge. And yes, Bhagavad Gita as a practical Vedanta in itself is a miracle. Like that many thousands of years ago, Lord Krishna spoke to Arjuna and told him what is the practicality of living a life by duty, where we have not to think of relationships, but we have to do our duty as per our birth. Since he was a Kshatriya, he had to fight. Otherwise, he would be, going into a life where people would look down upon him. So, Professor Saab, um, thank you very much. And I hope life gives me occasion again and again and again to listen to you so that each time we hear you, the mind grasps a new angle of life, of existence. And and yes, I pray to all of you that may I be blessed so that listening to Professor Saab repetitively about Bhagavad Gita in its different, translations and understandings and commentaries, may we also finally learn the purpose of our life and also how to exist. Thank you, Professor Saab. Thank you, Dr. Saab, for allowing me to speak. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, madam. Sri Aurobindo has also told that whenever you go through Bhagavad Gita, you can get a new dimension of thought, a new dimension of a consciousness. So, each and every time, Bhagavad Gita gives us a new way of thinking, a new way of living. So, what is your response to Madam Roma? Okay, Professor Pramod Kumar.
Very, very nice, very nice. Because I always believe that um, when we speak something about metaphysics, about ethics, we always expect the same-minded audience. Otherwise, it is very difficult to communicate our thoughts. So Roma Mandam is very humble that she's saying that she's a student. She's really a student because she has that sense of learning, and we expect that type of audience that they should understand what that they should be serious. That should be serious about something which is spoken for 1 hour and which is spoken differently, and that is understood by Rama Madam. So I am grateful to her. Thank you, Madam. Thank you.
Namaskar. And thank you, sir.
Namaskar, ma'am.
Thank
Namaskar,
you.
ma'am. Now, anybody to put the observation or comment? May I request the scholars to put their observations. Rao sir, are you here? Rao sir, are you here? No. Then
Sir, namaskar everybody. Sir,
Hmm.
I'm actually in a
Yes,
party.
yes,
I was
yes.
listening to Professor Das and very
Okay.
nicely he spoke.
Hmm.
What should I say? Because I'm in a different year today. I had been to Professor Das, met him. Okay, and his lectures as usual, as Roma Madam said, very nice.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
Professor Saab is always prepared. Okay, so I just wanted to know say, why do we fail actually to, well, we know certain things to be so and so, but why it becomes so difficult when it comes to practice? Why, as Professor Das was pointing out, the distinction between knowledge and wisdom. So knowledge part is okay. Whatever knowledge we have, somebody may be having X amount of knowledge, somebody Y, but why we are not able to translate that X amount or Y amount of
Yes.
knowledge to the real experiences? So that is missing in our lives. And is there any techniques wherein we can transform that knowledge to real life situations or to live according to that knowledge? So that is one thing that I wish to know from Professor Das. Namaskar, sir. Thank you.
Very nice, very practical question. Yes, because we fear to trade with our knowledge. We go with the flow of the people, flow of the society. लोग क्या बोलेंगे, क्या ये जो बात है ना, जो
लोग क्या सोचेंगे,
लोग क्या सोचेंगे, मेरा क्या होगा, ये सब बात है ना, उसको आप पास करना है. That means you have to transcend that state. Suppose I am giving an example. You know that your boss is not right, and your boss is very much harmful for the entire team. But who will bail the cat? That is the point. So many times we compromise, many times we live our life according to the flow of life, according to the flow of the society, flow of the time. But who is the reformer? Reformers are they who go against the flow. So we can take the name of Raja Rammohan Rai, many others, even Sri Aurobindo, Vivekananda. Why they are reformers? Because they had strong desire to go against the flow. Therefore, Krishnamurti said that you have to go against the forms of life. Don't be caught by any form. That this is my form, this is my religion, this is my caste, this is my society. We have to cross it. And that happened to Arjuna in the battlefield. The example of Arjuna is very natural to all of us because we are all Arjuna. When the real situation comes, we become disturbed, we become baffled, we become biased, even if we know the truth. That is the great tragedy. So what shall we do? We have to practice it slowly, not so rapidly. We have to practice it slowly and very lovingly. We should not be so harsh. We should not be so much cruel to our life. So many times we have to compromise, but our focus should be on transformation. That at least today I spoke the truth. At least today I changed the format. I changed the society little bit. I changed a child. Suppose we are all teachers. We become very happy when at least when our efforts help a student to prosper in his life. So by little effort we can attain great success in our life, and that has happened to many people. So all are not same. So therefore I told many minds, many thoughts, many as our understanding, so is our world. We live in our personal worlds. Our responses are different from each other. The way I respond, you may not, and that is very natural. So responses are different. Therefore, transformation is very much personal. So we should take education in that way only. If we take education only to attain, only to get certificate or job or social recognition, I think that is a part of life, but that is not about transformation. We have to go in the, suppose thousands of people are going in one track, and if a single man is striving to go in the opposite track, we should not judge that because he is single in the democratic sense. We don't judge, we should not judge because he is a single man, then he must be wrong, and thousands of people are going in one track, so therefore they are right. Therefore in Bengali language there is a saying, akle chalo re. कोई कोई मुझे डायरेक्ट मुझे I don't remember that. If nobody is available with you, you start alone, you go alone with the right track. Then one day you will reach your destiny, and you will reach at the destination. So therefore Vivekananda said, and many great thinkers said, that we are the maker of our destiny. Our destiny is not totally conditioned. We can to some extent we can change our destiny. Even we can change our karma. I believe that.
Okay, Professor. Okay, Professor Rao.
Sir, thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you. One thing I got from his good message is we are in some way or the other, we are like disturbed Arjunas. Okay, we are like disturbed Arjunas. Okay, very much confused in our lives. What we need is a mentor in the form of Krishna. So those who get right mentors in their lives, they succeed, and those who don't.
Very, very nice.
So that is how I see from the talk of Professor Das. Thank you so much, sir. Namaskar, everybody.
And you mentor, you become the mentor of yourself also.
That is possible, but it's a very high stage. Maybe
Otherwise, there is possibility that you will be misguided by your teachers also.
Sometimes that is possible.
Teachers, scriptures, society, then they also many times misguide us.
Yes,
Thank you, sir. Thank you,
sir.
sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Namaskar, sir. Namaskar. Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks so much, Professor Rao. Sir, actually, Professor Rao has said the right thing. There's a very big gap between the theory and practice. And I have seen in my life, there are many good experts in Bhagavad Gita there. And I have also listened them. And they have no practice, and they are not leading their life that is according to the forms of Bhagavad Gita. They are preaching Bhagavad Gita, they are good experts in Bhagavad Gita, but they are not leading their life according to the principles of Bhagavad Gita. What happens to them? Repeatedly, they are speaking to the people actually to lead a practical life, but in their life, they fail to do it. What's the matter?
They pretend. They don't have that understanding. Therefore, I said hypocrites. They are false personalities. Okay. Therefore, once Ramakrishna said to a little child, when she was with her mother with a complaint that she is suffering from loose motion, the Lord Ramakrishna said that you come after 15 days. So after 15 days, when both mother and child came, again asked the question, Ramakrishna advised not to take sugar. So the mother was surprised that why did not you tell me the same thing before 15 days? Ramakrishna replied very humbly that because I was taking sugar. So if I would have said that, it would have no effect on you. So whatever you say, you should practice that. Otherwise, you can't get peace in saying that. Otherwise, you can't smile. Otherwise, you can't create that vibration. Your words will not. Your words will fall down, fall flat. That will not affect anybody. You can't change society because you have not changed yourself. Even the son will not listen to father if the father is not perfect. Therefore, there is a distance between husband and wife, distance between parents and children, because they are not true to what they profess.
Yes.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thanks so much. Now I would like to request Madam Shravani Mishra. Hello, Madam Shravani Mishra, to have her observation.
Sir, namaskar. Sir, what I will say today, sir, class is very educative and informative, and it is also very inspiring, so that one person can live according to Vedantic philosophy, or that you sir told about Gita philosophy. And so many things sir has told and guided us, like systematic knowledge and use of it in our life, about sufferings, and in our life what we can do in during the process of suffering. We can also liberate us from suffering by knowing. And very interesting thing that sir told today, that is the example of searching address, that is very inspiring. That searching address and reaching in that address is like knowledge and wisdom, that is wisdom, sir told it. And other things like transformations of behavior, knowledge, and that is and other all other things like psychological. We all live in same physical world, but we have different psychological conditions. And as we see, our life is also like this. So if we change our looking, then we can change our life, or we can experience so many things in our life that I have also experienced during this course of philosophy forum classes, and every Sunday and other days also. That also I am also experiencing some transformations in my life, and guidance of all of you, sir told us, and other experts, that their guidance are also very educative, and so many things sir told us. One thing, sir, I have sir also discussed about it, that why we are not practicing, or it is not working in our life. Still, I want to know that whether Maya is so dominant over the truth that we cannot realize it. Can you please, sir, tell something about more about it?
Yes, Maya is dominant because you are ignorant.
Sir,
Maya is dominant because you are ignorant. For
sir,
a man of wisdom, there is no Maya. Okay, so suppose you understand Jagat Mithya, this understanding is the same understanding as Brahma Satya.
sir,
Once you understand that you are in Maya, you are
sir,
not in Maya. The moment you understand that you are biased, you are not
sir,
biased. The moment you
sir,
understand that you are in Maya, you are not
sir,
in Maya. So therefore we have to understand the status of the change, and this is common sense. This is not a very great philosophy. So
sir,
philosophy starts from the common sense. Great
sir,
wisdom starts from the common sense. So the common sense says, and it is very very scientific also, that scientifically we should understand that everything is changing, that my body is changing, my mood is changing, my mind is changing, my intelligence is changing. You have to understand this. And this is a very common understanding. We understand that through others, but we don't understand that through ourselves. That is the problem. So try to understand that changes in yourself. ମୁଁ ତ ଏମିତି ନଥିଲି. I was very calm in the morning. Why now I am so irritated? You just ask yourself. The moment you understand this, you will become calm. No, I shall return to my original state. I am not this angry man. I am not this irritated man. My mind is so calm. I shall come to my native state of mind. This will be your daily practice. What I am doing, what I thought, why did I say that? You are saying, and you just ask yourself, why did I say that? I should not say like this. Just to return yourself. That is called pratyahara. You should return. If your senses are engaged, it is very natural. But try to withdraw your senses from that, from those things. Suppose you are very much interested in your enemies, because we all are very much interested in our enemies. Therefore, enemies becomes very valuable. I always say, don't give values to your enemies by overthinking about them. Try to withdraw yourself from your enemies. Why do you give values, your valuable time to your enemies? Think about your friends. Think about God. Think about, madam, culture one thing in your life,
Sir.
that keep your mind in such a high level that thoughts of the lower levels cannot affect you, cannot touch you. Suppose you fix your mind in God, nothing
Sure.
empirical will disturb you. Suppose you fix your mind, focus your mind on good friendship. No enmity can touch you. No jealousy can touch you. Nothing. But what we are doing, we are very much interested in our enemies. We are very much interested in comparing ourselves with others. We are very much interested to know the result of our neighbor's son. We are not interested for our son. We are interested for what our neighbor's son has secured, whether he failed or passed. So don't allow your mind to roam, to run after all these things. This is so close that door. Close that door. Don't open your door for that. So this is this much we can do, and gradually you will see that you are very peaceful, you are very calm, you are very quiet, you are very silent. Naturally, you will feel that, and that will be felt within. That will be felt within, and your voice will be changed, your thought will be changed, your relationship will be changed, your understanding will be changed, and finally, your world will be changed. You will live in another world.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. For that reason, sir, you guided about self-mentoring process.
Self-mentoring. Yeah, yes,
Sir.
yes.
Sir,
Yes, self-mentoring.
very beneficial. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you all of you, sir. Roma Vani madam, Maharana sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Sir,
Okay, thanks so
today
much.
was a very good evening, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Sabani Madam, for your good questions. And I was listening to the responses made by Professor Pramod Kumar, and every line of his responses, appears to be a mantra. Okay, so I must extend my congratulations to Professor Pramod Kumar. And I have a little question to Professor Pramod Kumar. That is, you said that yoga is a technology, and yoga is also a consciousness. So, do you feel that yoga is a consciousness of technology?
In the Bhagavat Gita, we take yoga as a technology. That may be interpreted in different ways in different shastras or different philosophers. But in Bhagavad Gita, we take yoga as the technology. For example, karma yoga. Here we discuss about karma, niskama karma, vikarma, all these things we discuss theoretically. So that is theoretical discussion. But when we start practicing it, it is called technology. It is called yoga. By what is the meaning? What is the significance of this? Because our goal is to be mixed with, united with the Paramatma. Paramatma means the highest possibility. We are living through different possibilities. Now I am 52 means this is one possibility. 53 means it is another possibility. Possibility of many disease, possibility of every age has its own emotion, Every age has its own anxieties. So these are the possibilities. But what is the highest possibility? The highest possibility is the pure consciousness. So to reach that state is the technology. Yoga is the technology. Okay. So, yes, you asked a very beautiful question. In Bhagavad Gita also, yoga is also understood as both a practice and a end. Yoga is also the end. Yoga means the union. Yoga means the union between Jivatma and Paramatma. This is the meaning of union and the end. And yoga is also understood as the practice that through different spiritual sadhana like karma, jnana, and bhakti, we can attain that union. So, in that sense, I said it is a technology. Suppose you want to reach at Bhubaneswar, you should have some technology. You will go through by bus or by car, by train. So similarly, you want to attain Brahman, then you have to some technology, that is karma or jnana or bhakti. Okay, these are the technologies. By that you will attain that state. In that sense, it is technology.
Okay. Okay, thanks so much, Professor Das, for your very beautiful answer. And I would like to request other viewers, if they have any question, then they can ask or put their responses or observation. Anybody? Or otherwise, we'll go for the conclusion and vote of thanks. Hello?
Yes, you
Roma
go for
ma'am?
conclusion.
Okay. Okay. So today, Roma ma'am,
She has
hello.
said. She has already said.
Okay. Thank you.
I've already.
So today,
Thank you.
okay. Please have your conclusion. Okay, and last response to the talk of Professor Das.
You would like me to say something, Dr. Sab?
Yes.
Okay.
We all.
No, no. Yes, I was thinking about intelligence and wisdom, and I was also thinking about knowledge and actual practice. Yes, Professor Saab told us very beautifully that we have a lot of knowledge, but we do not practice it because we are afraid. And this fear comes
Yes.
when we think we matter. I matter, therefore we are afraid. But the moment we surrender and say, not me, but you, not me, but you, then we will get over our fear. So, Dr. Saab, while we were discussing, all of us, these two thoughts came to my mind: the difference between knowledge and wisdom, and the difference between knowing and, again, practicing. Thank you once again. And as I said, that please, and please regularly keep teaching us and making us to, go into introspection and understand ourselves through your discourses. Thank you once again. Namaskar.
So we are very pleased to listen the humble response and humble conclusion made by Professor Umawani, and it will be the blessing of Professor Umawani on the organizers of Philosophy Family. So today we all have been benefited by the talk of Professor Pramod Kumar, and we know that Professor Pramod Kumar has expertise in Bhagavad Gita, and today he has made a very beautiful connection in between information, knowledge, and wisdom. And he has also made the connectivity between the Bhagavad Gita and Vedanta, and how Bhagavad Gita is treated as a practical Vedanta. And he has given many examples of our practical life that we have to lead our life in perfectly if we honor the mantras, we honor the principles of Bhagavad Gita. So Professor Pramod Kumar has very beautifully analyzed. He has given a conceptual analysis of different concepts of Bhagavad Gita and Vedanta, and it has benefited all of us. And today we all have been benefited by the responses and observations made by Professor Roma Madam, Dr. K. Rao, Sravani Madam. So it's my honor to propose a hearty vote of thanks to the speaker, Professor Pramod Kumar, and our participant, Professor Roma Vani, Dr. Rao, Sravani Madam, and others, those are till now to view this program and to witness the program and to have their own observation. So with this, we would like to request Professor Pramod Kumar, the host of this meeting, the speaker of the program, to wind up the session by putting his own remark and by putting his own observation. Over to Professor Kumar.
With the sense of gratitude, we shall conclude this session. I am happy that I am with Roma Madam because I feel her presence and I solicit her presence in such type of discussion. I am really grateful to her and also to others, Sabri Madam and others. With this session is declared closed. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you. Good nights.